Well, hey guys, how are you doing? Hope you're all well. Hope everybody's had a great day. Welcome back to the channel. We had a change of heart on this 268 for now, and you know, we'll just leave it at that, but I'd rather let it go as a complete saw, ready to go, ready to put in the wood. Kind of want to turn the heat up on it too and just see how well it does perform versus one of the saws I have with the 268xp. The cylinders look about identical. The main difference being is the intake tract on the two saws. The 268 shares that 272, 288 design. It even goes up, and it's kind of similar to a 394 intake design. It has a much larger block, much larger intake opening. Who knows whether that hurts it or helps it, but that's what we're going to get into this thing and turn the heat up on it. What I would honestly like to do right now is see where compression is at. With what work we've done, basically we pulled the base gasket and took like 20, probably not quite 25 thousandths out of the squish band to get the squish clearance we wanted. Right, you guys remember we had with the glue like 20 thousandths squish. We had a 105.5 exhaust roof, so this thing should have a pretty good thump. Just, you know, the pull test, pulling on it, it feels pretty dang healthy, so try to get that as tight as we can. This is, I've went over that, it's an automotive, pretty long gauge, so you have to give her quite a bit of pulls. We ain't going to do any density altitude corrections or anything. We're just going to we'll set that, and that's got her about wide open. It's close enough, and we're going to give her about 15 good pulls. Where are we at right now? Right now we're at like 175, and she's still climbing. I'm tired of pulling. Right there, just at like 12 pulls, she's sitting. If you can't see that, or it's a funky angle, like at 180 pounds, she'll keep pumping up. I'm sure of it. I was expecting close to 200 psi. That's about where it should have been. Your numbers in math usually doesn't lie, and if I had one of them little short stubby gauges, it'll be higher than that. This one's probably not 100% accurate, but it gets me close enough to know what's going on. Usually most stock saws fall like around 140, 150 psi with that gauge, unless they're worn out. Unless they're like an old McCulloch or something. So it's pretty daggone good considering. We don't need this in the way, and that thing's wobbly. It doesn't work. We may just take that off, or not. Could just leave it, but what's the purpose in it being there if it doesn't work? This thing's got, looks like nice factory double dogs on it. I was expecting to find that band completely broke here somewhere, so it's not. So I don't know, we might be able to look into that and see if we can get it working again, or not. And I thought this was a weird design on the air filter. I kind of like the older design better. That's what I have on both of my other. Actually, I have three of these. I have a 61, the 266, and the 272. Air filter kind of pulls out of there. I swear, I think somewhere I have a couple of those that are brand new, but that one looks fine, so you know what, we'll leave it alone and roll with it. And in here you have 4 screws that come out, but I'm not going to bore you with taking those out, and we'll take them out off camera. Bring you guys back. And there's what that looks like off of the saw. Honestly, I swear I believe the older design would work better. I have one of the elbows here, if not 2 or 3 of them. If I had a new air filter, which I don't think I do, we would definitely swap over to that other setup just to see, you know, if it makes a difference. And there is one more screw here, just a flat head, just like those others. A lot of the older ones don't have that. You can drill and tap and add it, but it's actually a self-tapper, so all you would have to do is drill and add that. My 61, you have to, after I up the compression on it, every other time you run that saw, you definitely have to go over the bolts and recheck them. This should come out easy, and you have to be careful with these, because I have had them break. If it does break, you don't have to freak out. You can come in. And I had one of these I done this way that was on a tree service saw that been out there for 3 years, may still be going, but you can come through and just drill a small hole down here, and that's if this is brittle and breaks, and hang that throttle rod in it, and it works just as. It actually worked a little better. It didn't have that little catch in it like this one or most of the other ones do, but just a little tip there. And then the fuel line, I've drained all the fuel out of this, but I'm willing to bet there's still some sprays. Now I think we're good. That line is still good, but I may just for the hell of it go in and replace it. It's all tuned good, idled good. The piston was nice in it, and I'll show all that again once we get the top end off here. And of course, don't forget your choke rod. It just pops out like 90% of these things do. And we're going to pull the handlebar off because I don't have my new T-handle set. The long T-handles doesn't have the right size for the cylinder head bolts, and I have to refer back to the old, I don't know what brand those are, Pittsburgh or whatever it is from Harbor Freight. I've had those for 8 years. I've yet to break one or damage one, and they've been used to death. I've had the Icon ones for a couple of years now. Really nice piece. There went the bar plate. We kind of went over that. The bar plates, you have to run a bar plate on these or else it does not get adequate oiling. These were kind of weird, I thought. They have a M3 in them. Kind of look like something that would be in like a Wild Thing or something. Not really a fan of that one at all. I'm really thinking we'll put something with an M4 head back in that when we go back together. Nothing wrong with what was there, but I don't know, it's just a little weird, I thought. I've tore a bunch of these down. I've not seen those that way. I've also not seen the 5/16 on this side of the handlebar either, but they changed so much on these 2 series saws. Not even funny. Let's see, guys, let's go to the muffler next. Alright, we're going to take our filling spike off first because one of the bolts does run through it, and the filling spike bolts and, well, this bracket bolt on top here, they do run through the cases and are 2 of your case bolts. So if you're doing a 2 series, even if you're not running a filling spike like in a race saw application or something, you still need to put those back in, I guess, what I'm trying to spit out. And I like to tear saws down. Here lately I've gotten to where most of them I'll even go back just by hand. Really easy to cross thread something, strip something out with the impact. I'll remove the clutch with an impact, of course, but yeah. Alright. What was funny when I tore this saw down, it had like it was for a steel, one of the T27, it looked like a cylinder bolt stuck in here. You know, you do what you gotta do when you're using these things to make a living. Looking at the piston and the cylinder of this, unless it'd been rebuilt or something, and you know, that's possible. I don't think this old saw had a lot of hours on it, to be brutally honest. Yeah, I'll put that in there at the top. You don't have to remove that bracket, but I removed it initially. I don't want to throw it all into ultrasonic cleaner, and the muffler wouldn't fit with that bracket on it. It should be loose. Alright, I'll leave this over here. It's already been cleaned and muffler modded, but we will probably open that muffler up just a little bit more. It's probably good enough, but the hole that's under the deflector, will go in and punch that out somewhat bigger to where the saw can breathe. And, hell guys, I almost forgot, but in most cases this thing ain't even on these saws anymore. A lot of the ones I get here, you know, when they've been torn down before, this just wasn't even put back in, and it's basically part of the, I guess, to seal off this card box for the air injection. That air injection, you know, you'll hear guys say that it was there to help aid in performance. It is there to keep chips from building up in your card box. There's people gonna argue that. I really don't care. People are welcome to do that, but there's also videos out there from Stihl and Husqvarna showing otherwise. The main reason I'm doing this is I didn't really show a lot about the saw in the other videos. If someone was interested in this, once I'm done with it, you know, you can watch the video and you'll know what you're getting. But this cylinder does have the top fins chipped here, but you know what, that doesn't hurt a thing. All the others are there, they look fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Those were not coming out, I promise you. They were never going to vibrate loose. My goal with this in the end is to get all the performance I can out of it and not give up any of that static compression. How we do that, we optimize the intake timing, we optimize the transfer timing to get as much out of that as we can without going too far on either. Do our normal little things, we'll do a little bit of a timing advance on it. Like I said, we'll open that muffler up a little more. I know some people are going, damn, did you really put those that tight? Yes, I do. That's a pretty good size bolt, it can take it. I don't like things to vibrate loose. I'd rather somebody bitch about having to break it loose years on down the road, other than that moto silk. You gotta see it. A lot of the times you about have to beat it loose off of the cylinders. You can see there it was held good, was not going anywhere. Highly recommend that, which it's the same thing as like your Honda Bond, your 3 Bond. I don't actually remember a lot of the Loctite numbers, but it's all basically about the same thing. You can see it's still got a good stick on the cylinder, but I don't know if I'd even shown that cylinder much before. Pin magnets are your friend. Usually I'll reach in and pull those back 2 bolts out, but kind of got ahead of myself there. There we go. There's those bolts, and up close look. I guess my daughter's leaving out to head to work. She works second shift. Dog's just telling her bye if you hear barking. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, I like to put my cylinder bolts in their own little separate tray. Alright, got that took care of. It was a daughter's boyfriend. I had a low tire, so I aired up the little hot dog compressor. We went out and aired it up, but on another note, guys, it was 70 degrees yesterday most of the day. Being way warmer than it should be around here. It's freaking pouring the snow out. I don't think it's going to accumulate to nothing, but it's all wet, nasty snow. Yeah. Just in case I had not shown that, I don't remember if I did or not, but closed port cylinder. I had one of those other cylinders here a while back. It was scored up. But it had kind of a quad port design, but it was open port, kind of really similar to what you would see like in a McCulloch ProMax 700 or ProMax 55 or something, or like one of the later 610s or something. But that's definitely what you want to see there. Alright, let's get this apart. Alright. Now that's so clean is because I had every bit of it through the ultrasonic cleaner before. I actually done a lot of cleaning on the old saw because I had intentions of moving it on out of here, which we eventually will. And there's that intake block. I swear I wish I had one of the other intake blocks, because I would use this cylinder on it because there's no fins or anything broken on it. It's not that it's nicer or anything, but here's a 266xp cylinder. You can see it's, hell, she's about identical. Closed port design, but mainly the real difference is here on this intake port. And here's that one. Some people were saying to, there's one gentleman said to put finger ports in this and run it against the others. I actually have 2 over there that's built identical, same cylinders. I think when the transfer timing was about where this was at, it was after machine work. It was like north of 125 on the open time on the uppers. I might have set that back at 124, 125, and then just slipped 2 small finger ports in it, which in my theory is an extra transfer port. Some people put them in to try to direct the charge out of the exhaust port or the unspent gases. Some guys will run them all the way up and use them as a way to get more case compression in the saw. There's not any right or wrong way about this. That's why they call it 2-stroke theory. There's nothing really wrote in stone on it anywhere. You know, it's just one of them deals, the saw community. It's just, what's that old saying? There's more chiefs than Indians. My way's the highway. Yeah. I say you do you and let me do me, but if it's complete misinformation I know's wrong, I'm going to call you on it. If you're telling people to go into the bottom end of a saw and hog things out and raise the exhaust roof a mile without machine work, given crazy numbers that you would put into a race saw for a work saw, I think we've done beat that dead horse and called all of that out. So we'll just leave it as, you know, it is what it is. Before anyone asks for a part with the other cylinder, that would be a negative.